Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. We're here with the final video for issue 10, and our Librarian has got himself into a bit of a pickle. He got lost en route to the Space Marine forward base and has found himself in the midst of a Tyranid nest. We now got to put him through his paces trying to defeat a swathe of enemies. We also learn all about different weapon special rules, so that's going to be a very useful issue, and we're going to be able to put all of our special weapon rules to use in future games. Don't forget to do all the usual: like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and drop me a comment down below. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They stock new and used armies for various different game systems, paints, paintbrushes, other hobby supplies, as well as gaming aids such as dice and tokens. So check them out, there'll be a link in the video description down below. And they also stock Combat Patrol magazine, so who knows, you might find your next hobby project for a bit of a discount. Right then, let's harness the warp and take down some Tyranid enemies. So here we are back with issue 10 for the last time. So we have our Tyranid enemies here, so 10 termagants, the 3 leapers, and we see the winged Tyranid Prime take to the field as well. So put those to one side along with Range Ruler and Battle Mat. Oops, sorry Atius, knocked you over. So Atius can go to the battlefield, and our brush can go to our paint box. So now we have some rules to read, learning about the different types of weapons. So I'll adjust the camera and we'll get into it. So here we go, diving in. So we learn about weapon abilities. In the war-torn future, warriors wield a dizzying array of weapons, from the ancient tech of the Imperium to the biocannons of the Tyranids. No two weapons are alike. This article provides an overview of how different weapons work in the game, represented by weapon abilities, and gives examples of some of your units that use them. So, first off, we got pistol weapons. Many warriors in the 41st millennium carry a sidearm, allowing them to engage the enemy at close range. These weapons have the pistol keyword. Pistols can be fired while the firer is within engagement range of enemy units. However, if this is the case, they can only target the unit they are engaged with. A unit cannot fire pistols and other weapons without the pistol rule in the same turn. They must choose which they wish to use. Rapid fire. Some weapons are capable of unleashing storms of deadly firepower when the enemy is close. These weapons have the rapid fire X rule. Rapid fire weapons fire additional shots when they are within half their maximum range. The number of additional shots is denoted by the X. So for our Terminator Captain and Librarian, Storm Bolters have rapid fire 2, so they add 2 to their already 2 shots. So yeah, pretty much doubles your fire output. So, quick reminder there, of Storm Bolters have 24-inch range. When an enemy unit is within 12 inches, they fire an additional 2 shots. Blast weapons. Some weapons fire fragmenting munitions that are especially deadly against massed infantry. This is represented in the game by the blast rule. Blast weapons get more attacks against units with more models in them. For every 5 models in the unit, add 1 to the attack characteristic of that weapon. So as we note here, the barbed gaunts and their barb launchers have the blast word. So when firing at a fully healthy unit of Infernus Marines at 5 models, the barb launchers become D6 plus 1 attacks. If it is a full 10-man squad, it'd be D6 plus 2 attacks. Torrent. So we've seen these before. Torrent. From flamethrowers to gouts of digestive acid. Some weapons do not fire conventional projectiles, but a stream of fire or corrosive liquid. These have the torrent rule. Torrent weapons automatically hit their target. In other words, you don't need to make a hit roll. For example, the Infernus Marine's Pyreblaster makes D6 automatic hits, rolling a D6 for each model in the unit to find out how many shots they make. Next up is heavy. Some of the most powerful firearms must be stabilized, whether by mechanical tripods, biological adaptations, or sheer brawn, in order to be fired most effectively. These have the heavy keyword. Heavy weapons are more accurate if the unit equipped with them remains stationary. As such, add 1 to hit rolls for heavy weapons if the unit wielding them has not moved. So again, we're looking at the barb gaunts. They have the heavy keyword for their barb launchers, so if they stand still, they'll hit on 3s instead of 4s. Couple more before we hit the battle. So, devastating wounds. Weapons with a devastating wounds keyword have a chance to bypass your opponent's armor completely. Each time you cause a critical wound, or a 6 on a dice, no save rolls may be made against that attack, including invulnerable saves. You'll learn about these later. So critical hits and critical wounds. So hit rolls of 6 are called critical hits. Wound rolls of 6 are called critical wounds. These are always successful, and some rules, such as devastating wounds, trigger when critical hits or wounds are attained with certain weapons. Psychic. In the nightmarish world of the far future, some weapons draw upon the dark power of the warp, a realm of raw psychic energy. Such weapons have the psychic keyword. Psychic weapons can only be used by psychers. Your librarian has one in the form of smite shooting attack. Psychic weapons have no inherent additional effects, but other weapons and abilities can interact with psychic weapons. Keep an eye out for these in your games. 2 more to look at then. So we have assault weapons for our termagants. Some weapons are designed to be fired on the move, allowing their wielder to maintain a withering rate of fire as they sprint across the battlefield. Unlike other shooting weapons, weapons that have the assault keyword, such as termagants' flesh borers, can be fired in the same turn that they advanced. So termagants start here, they move and then advance, and they can still fire at the Infernus Marines hidden in cover there. Finally then, we have hazardous. So hazardous weapons are powerful, but can deal damage to their user. After resolving shooting attacks with a weapon that has the hazardous rule, roll D6 on a 1, that model will suffer. One model in that unit is destroyed. If the model is a character, they'll suffer 3 mortal wounds instead. Finally, we have a little box about mortal wounds. So mortal wounds, some attacks and abilities inflict mortal wounds. Each mortal wound causes 1 model in that unit to lose 1 wound. No save rolls can be made against mortal wounds. These represent the very deadliest injuries a warrior can suffer. Moving on to this issue's scenario then. So scenario 6, Mind Over Matter. A freak warp storm has engulfed the war zone. The Tyranids and Space Marines are fighting over, disrupting communications from the Space Marines and the Tyranids. A Space Marine Librarian sees this storm as an opportunity and intends to channel its force in battle. In this mission, you'll get to try out weapon special rules for the first time, as well as learning the capabilities of your Space Marine Librarian. By using the powerful smite attack with all of its special rules, you'll destroy as many Tyranids as possible. Be wary, choose your targets unwisely, and you may well be overwhelmed. Gather your datasheets. For this battle, you will need the datasheets of the Librarian, Winged Tyranid Prime, Von Rhys Leapers, and Termagants. Pay particular attention to any special rules on weapons that you'll be using in this battle. How to win. In this mission, your goal is to use the Librarian to slay all Tyranids. You can have an opponent to play the Tyranids. They win if they slay the Librarian. You can also play this mission solo to practice. So to set up, we have our Librarian in one corner, Von Rhys Leapers opposite, Termagants in the opposite corner, and the Winged Tyranid Prime in the furthest away corner. Up next, we've got a couple of example turns. So for the Space Marine, the Librarian moves. He then shoots with all his shooting abilities. And then he'll charge. And then they do their fights. We've got a battle tip here. So if faced with multiple enemies, it's best to direct your attacks against the unit that has the largest threat. So priority target 1 is the Winged Prime, then the Leapers, And finally, the termagants you can pretty much ignore for the best parts. But with the Von Ryan's Leapers being so close, our first target will be them. Then we got a Tyranid turn, so the Winged Prime moves up. Termagants also move and shoot, and then the Tyranids can charge any units they want in, and then they do the fights as usual. And yeah, that's it. So I'll set up and we'll get on and play through our new scenario. So here we are all set up and ready to play our game. So we've got the Winged Prime up in the very top corner, 10 Termagants down here, the 3 Von Ryan's Leapers and the Librarian here. Dice tray at the ready, dice and tokens off to my side. And of course we've got our mission booklet and range ruler. So the tutorial will follow through. It does say it wants us to use a specific version of the smite. It's the focused witchfire, so we learn about hazardous and devastating wounds. So we start with the Space Marine's turn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the Librarian 5 up to there. And I'm in range of my smite, so we get D6 shots. Hoo-hoo, it's a big 6. So to hit is 3+. No devastating hits. Can we get some devastating wounds though? So it's strength 6 against toughness 5. So freeze. And we've got a devastating wound. Sweet. So, devastating wounds. Weapons with devastating wounds keyword have a chance to bypass the opponent's armor completely. Each time you roll a critical wound or a 6, no saves may be made against that attack, including invulnerable saves. So, in that case, 1 devastating and 3 regular. So the devastating goes through for D3 damage. 2. So our first leaper's still alive. But we still have chance to save now. So it's a -2 on the AP. So we're down to a 6-up save. Nope. So D3 damage. Doesn't matter what it is. It kills the first leaper. Saving on a 6, he does. And saving on a 6, he does. Wow. Should have rolled the white dice, really. Yeah, I would have failed. Ah, well, too late. So, 2 leapers are still alive, sadly. Doesn't mention we can't shoot with a storm bolter, but it has told us in previous issues that we can shoot with all weapons we have. So we'll shoot with the storm bolter. We're in rapid fire, so we get 4 shots hitting on freeze. 2 misses. Strength 4, tough 5, wounding on 5s then. Ooh, 2 wounds. 2 saves, minus nothing, so 4 up. Ow, fail. 1, so 1 wound, 1 damage is it? Yeah. 1 damage goes through from the storm bolter. So that's cool, we've done some damage at least. So at next, charge. So we'll charge him on the Librarian. Yeah, 5 will get us in. We need a 4. Charging units fight first, so our Librarian will fight first. 4 attacks with his force weapon. Hitting on freeze. Not too bad, only 1 miss. And again, strength 6, toughness 5, so wounding on freeze. 2, and does devastating help? No, it doesn't. So 2 wounds. At minus 1 AP this time, so 5 up save. Oop. Okay, obviously that dice don't want to be rolled. Saved the first one, and the second one didn't save. So D3 damage onto the wounded leaper. Hopefully we get 2. No, we get 3. It wouldn't be enough to wipe out the entire single leaper. So leaper's time to fight back, so pars in. He gets his 6 attacks. 5, 6. Hitting on 3s. That's everything. Hitting. Wounding on strength 5, tough 5 4s. Only 2. And a 2+ save, down to a 3+ save because it's a -1 AP. Oop. And yeah, he's fine. Terminator Armour, tanks to hits. Over then to the Tyranids. So we haven't been able to wipe out a unit yet. So we'll move the Winged Prime. He can move 12. Smash. Now Termagants can also move. They move 6. So we'll move them sideways, I think, like this. So they're there to pepper shots if they get the chance. Can't shoot into combat. So straight to charging, we need a 6. A 5 doesn't cut it. So Wing Prime has failed. Leaper attacks first then, because I'll fight first. 6 attacks hitting on 3s. That's everything. Wounding on 4s. That's only 4, not too bad. 2 up down to a 3 up. He passes them all. 4 attacks back from the Librarian, hitting on 3s. Only 2 go through, but that could be enough. Wounding on 3s. Oop, come on, need 1. Stop bouncing. I'll take that, it counts as 2. -1 AP, so 2 saves of 5+. Nope, both fail. D3 damage a shot. First one is only 1. Second one is 3. Kills the Leaper. Now, closest enemy unit. Looks like about equidistant. So he is 7 away. And they are closer to 8 away. So consolidate towards closest enemy unit would be the Prime, which is cool because now it's the Space Marines' turn. So, Vulneralized Leapers are defeated, so they can come off the board. I forgot to roll Hazardous. Nobody reminded me. So, Hazardous, anything but a 1. Yeah, he passed his Hazardous test last turn. So, we'll do Smite again. Again, I think we'll go for the Focused. It's stronger, higher AP. So D6 shots, only 2 this time. Hits on 3s, or not. Okay. Can we soften up the Tyranid Prime with our Stormbolter? We get 3 shots hitting, wounding on 5s. 1 saves on a 4. He does. Charging, we only need, a 3 will get us in. And a 3 is enough. Gets us within that ½ inch. That allows us to then pile in. 4 attacks of the Force Axe, hitting on 3s. Wounding on Strength 6, Tough 5, 3s. 2, not bad. So saving on -1, so it's down to a 5. He makes 1, but 1 goes through. So that becomes D3 damage. For just 1. No, we've softened him up. Winged Prime gets the lash back with its talons, so 6 attacks. Hitting on 2s. Ooh. 1s don't work. Strength 6, tough 5, wounding on 3s. 2. And -1, 2 damage of pop. So 2+ down to a 3+. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. Ouch. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 1 wound left. Our poor librarian. Oh dear. Tyranids turn then. So, do we do death by termagants, or do we do death by Tyranid Prime? Let's move 4 forward. So we're in range to charge if we want. We'll move the wound markers around this way. Yeah, we'll charge. It could be death by termagants. So let's see. Ooh, that should just be enough. Yes. So 3 inches. Our first one gets to there. That one gets to there. That one there. Charging unit fights first, so pile in. We get 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are in range. So 4 attacks and termagants, hitting it on 4s. Ooh. 2. Wounding on strength 3, toughness 5, 5s. 1. 2+ save. Yeah, he's good. Librarian will attack. He's going to ignore the termagants. He's going to go for the prime. Only 2. Well, it could be enough if I can get high rolls on a D3. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds. Nice. He saves on a 5. No, 2 go through. First one, D3 damage. I need high rolls. Only 1. He's going to be alive even if I get a 3. Come on. 2. Okay. I've done 4 damage back at least. So now it's the only one left to fight, and that's the Winged Prime. 6 attacks, 2s to hit. And strength 6 to 5 freeze. And only a -1. So 4 free-up saves. The Librarian could be out. He's definitely out. Ouch. Sorry, ATS, but you have fallen. Oh well, he didn't do too badly. Did a little better than I thought. But yeah, I've seen a couple of other battle reports and it does end this way. Really, if I had better rolls on the smite before I charged in, I could have done a lot more damage to that Tyranid Prime, and I might have been able to swing the victory towards the Space Marines, but as it is, I think I'll leave it at that, and we will call it a Tyranid victory. So, back to the magazine for our victory, and of course, what's in our next combat patrol. So here we are, straight at the victory speech, and it was a Tyranid victory, sadly. As a Librarian attempts to channel more psychic power, the hive mind directs a portion of its psychic might to defeating him. Momentarily distracted, the Librarian attempts to shake off the hive mind's influence, only to be brought down in a wave of slashing claws and gnashing envenomed fangs. So yeah, didn't go too well for our librarian, sadly. Poor Atius. It wasn't to be, though. He is more of a scholar than a combatant. So yeah, pretty cool nonetheless. I might play it again, just see if I get a different result by myself. But that's pretty much it. So moving on. Back cover. What's our next combat patrol? So issue 11 nets us 2 new paints. I've seen a review of this issue, but I haven't seen any reviews of 12 and 13 yet. Well, 12's the only other one that's out. So yeah, Corax White, we're going to be using it on the Crux Terminatus, on our Captain and Librarian. So just to help pick out some areas. And for Leadbelcher, we're going to be using it on stuff like the blade of the axe, the casing of the ammo for the Stormbolter, as well as the barrels, and a few other little details around our models. But yeah, these 2 paints will really come into their own when we hit issues 12 and 13, because we get the Terminator squad. So yeah, some heavy hitting Space Marine elite to add to our army. So parts 1 and 2, I'll be doing the same as I did for the Termagants, so filming both introduction issues, then I can get on and build in one video, paint in the other video, and of course we'll get to put them through their paces in a game. So we learn about Terminators and deploy them. We also build and paint the Space Marine Elite, and we also cover special abilities and battle shock tests as well. In issue 11, we also cover the command phase, and we learn a little bit about the Omnissiah. So we actually get a load of tokens on the back page of this issue. So we get victory points and we get command point tokens to cut out, and objective markers as well, I believe. So yeah, I'll be mounting those onto some card and printing. I'll photocopy the back cover and then print them, cut them out that way. But that is it for issue 10. Bring in the star of the show, Atius himself. And yeah, that's it for delivery 3 of Combat Patrol. So yeah, we're halfway to our first 2 complete Combat Patrol forces. Once we do hit issue 20, I'll do a little bit of a review of the issues so far, as well as the 2 Combat Patrol forces. And then yeah, we'll be also in that the delivery, the first 2 finish, we also begin our next Combat Patrol, which is the Eldari. Very interesting. I will be putting up a poll once we get closer to that delivery, just so I can gauge from you guys what you want me to do about the Eldari collection part. Part of me really wants to do Iandan, but another part of me really wants to continue following along with the magazine, just to help you guys understand and utilize your magazines a lot better. Yeah, we'll discuss that in the comment section, as well as on some polls on the channel. So yeah, thank you all again for watching. Do not forget to check out warbay.shop, link in the video description, of course. Check it, please check it down there. Listen to Atrius the Seer. Check warbay.shop. You heard it from the Librarian. Check warbay.shop. Right, I think I have rambled on long enough. I will see you all next time for more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.